Mic check, mic check. This thing on? Oh yeah. Yo, what is up everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video with your host Kenkukun, and today we are going to cover a topic someone brought up to me. Um they said they had a tough time dealing with and it's hard to explain because it's so deep and it comes with experience, but I'm gonna try my best to break it down as best I can to help you and me, everyone else out there. Player awareness. Now, there's two types of awareness. There's player awareness and map awareness. Map awareness is, I tell people when you can walk backwards through a map and not really bump into anything other than, maybe the occasional rock that Bungie just has on the ground. That's good play. That's good map awareness, especially if you can do it on the fly in some of these fights. People will see me, I'll move backwards and I'll land on places that I know was there, but sometimes it's muscle memory, like, you know, but we won't get into that. We're going to get into player awareness. So we're going to start with probably the tougher side. Player awareness, there's a lot to it, but we're going to be focusing on the part where your team, all right, we're going to focus on your team, and you're kind of like assuming, and you don't want to always assume, but when you have a team, hold on a second. Okay. When you have a team, when you and your team are doing the same thing, like you have a rock solid plan, and you guys are doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get more comfortable with your player awareness because you're going to know what your teammate is doing and what you're doing and what you need to do. So first off, let's talk about your awareness. All right. So I'm going to take this part of the map because this is probably the toughest part of the map for this map. We could say that's a tough part of the map too, but this side of the map is probably more engaged, no matter what, than the other side of the map. By enemy teams and friendly teams, by most people. You're gonna have engagements over here the most. So we're gonna say this is me. All right. So and we're gonna keep it to basics, right? You see me on the wall. I could be up here. I could be over here. I could be all the way up here if I wanted to be. But we're going to keep it basic. Let's assume everyone's going to stay basic. Now, as you play and you expand where you play from, your player awareness for yourself will increase, and what you can help with your teammates or what your teammates are doing will increase as well. All right. So player awareness. I am aware that if I'm taking this lane and I'm right here, this is all I can see. This is it. I also know if someone says, "Hey, they're coming from the left side," and there is nothing on my right, I could just boom turn, and here I am, right? Like I get that option, just turn and turn. Now, if they only say there's one coming from the left side, or they say there's two, but they don't say three, and they don't know, you don't want to just turn like this and back up, because that third guy could be waiting for you to make that mistake. Boom, sniped, right? I'm not even looking. Boom, sniped. So you're actually gonna have to, your awareness is, all right, this comes down to being shot from more than one place. All right, if I don't know if there's someone over there or my teammate, let's say I have a teammate that's right there, he says, hey, there's a guy to our right as well, then if you're going to turn and challenge left, you're going to want to move into cover a little bit. And now you're here. Now, the only cover you got from here and here is going like this. And if you go like this, you're shot from there if you're not paying attention. So boom, it's this wall, right? So knowing what you can watch from where you are is very important. That is your own awareness. You have to be aware of what you can and cannot do. Now, let's say a guy travels from here down to here, right? And he cuts your line of sight. And this is for a different topic for a different day, but that's now you need to decide, do I push or do I not? But let me dial it back again. We're going to focus on what you're doing and what your teammates should be doing that you're hoping they're doing. All right, so you're here. So, boom, you're covering this angle. And if you need to, you can cover this angle. All right, now you got a teammate up here. He can cover this angle. He covers this door. So now you got one guy covering this door. You got one guy covering this angle. You could even cover this angle from here. And if no one challenges you on the right side and your teammate says, I got three at the big door, you just boop. You peek over here with them. Shoot a couple shots, right? And this is very important. Let's say an enemy goes like this. He runs down the right and you shoot him. he shade steps, you miss your shots, and then you shoot him one more time, and he stops behind this pillar. This is very important. This is why I tell people, when you have a grenade, when you throw your grenade, you're doing one of two things. You're either locking down an area for a long time, which would be, you know, I've covered it in past videos. I would be throwing like a pulsnade here to lock down this doorway, or you're killing a guy off. If you're going to lead with your grenade, you're going to push with that grenade. But boom, they're weak, they're behind, you know, they're behind the tower. Boom, I just threw a grenade over there. That saves me the time of moving myself out into the open, and it saves me, it keeps me in cover. It saves me from exposing myself too far. Now, any class, you know, if it's a Titan or a Warlock, maybe their move is, oh, jump up. You know, now they're up in the air, right? And then you can't really see them from this spot, but maybe your teammate can see them from this spot. Or if they go a little bit further to the side, you know, they could, you know, shoot them once or twice. A hunter, he may jump up in the air too, but he's going to hit the ground first. So what you're hoping is, if they run this way, you're going to shoot them when they come out of, you know, when they come out into the open. If they run this way, your teammate sees all of this area, right? And you're hoping they can, you know, put a bullet on them or two, right? So that's your awareness. So if I'm standing here, right, and I got a teammate over here, all right, teammate number two, this is teammate number two, is going to be like, all right, teammate number one's got that side. I don't have to look there until he says there are 3 on the right side. And then you can either go like this, or you can go like this, right? But you usually, you know, you're trying to be sorry, dry throat. You're trying to assume your teammate's going to be covering that angle, no matter, especially in the stale games, right? The very passive stalemate games. Everyone's just playing patient. We're looking for a pick. All right, now, if you're on my team and you've been on my team this map, I'm usually somewhere over here. I'm usually making sure that, you know, in the beginning of the game, I come up here, I look for the snipe. So if I send 2 people over to the maze, right, the number 5, the maze, I like to call it the maze, you know, a little zigzag here. I won't be up there. Now, normally, I think it takes at least 2 people to hold this whole area. I don't think one person can hold this area. Because once 3 people, and I've tried it before multiple times, once 3 people come around, you know, you probably don't get a kill unless you're sniping. And if you miss, you know, you're just backing off, and now you're just giving up the area, right? So, and that, you know, I cover there's another video that I covered where, you know, how to hold an area on my YouTube. You should definitely check it out. I'll try to put a link in the description below, along with the map callouts for this map. So I'll be over here. Now, what's your role if you're over here? Well, I mean, other than, you know, you're watching the radar for the far left, you're calling that out. So if you say there's someone, you're over here. If your teammates are over there, you're gonna assume they're gonna be covering all that angle. Now, if no one's really playing the left side, let's say you got a scout rifle or a sniper, I'd probably say a scout rifle and like a, you know, a slower fire, high impact. You know, that way your shots land more precisely. Jade Rabbit's good. You could see all the way over there, right? Sniper would be okay. You can see there. You can kind of see there. You could see the ramp if your teammate says I'm weak and they, you know, start to push up the ramp. You know, boom, you get a body shot, headshot, whatever. You get some damage on them, right? You're trying anything pushing your teammates. You're trying to make sure you make them weak. So when they get to your teammates, you're going, you know, your teammates are going to be boom melee, right? There we go. Now we got a pick. Right, and anything else that follows along. That's why I would recommend a good scout rifle user take a position like this. They could even be here. They're just going to have less to see, and if you don't have good reaction time to pop off of here, if you get shot, or if you do it too many times, the enemy will expect you, right? Predictability. We try to shake that as much as we can. You're not going to be able to, you know, get in cover, but you have less view here, so you could shoot here, or the enemy, hey, the enemy's going all far right, all right? You got an angle right here. You're exposed, but you still have a teammate, hopefully, over in this area, unless it all gets chaotic. Then who knows what your teammates are doing. You probably have one jumping between the walls. At that point in time, again, you know, it's going to be covered in another topic. Should you fall back, or should you hold your ground? It's all going to be dependent. It's going to be on the fly. There's no correct answer 100%. I can't say 100% yes, you should move, no, you should stay. It all depends on the situation, and as your experience grows, so will your understanding of what I should try to do and what I should not try to do, right? So there you go. That's player awareness, right? It's different for every map. You want to, again, you want to see like the left side of the map. Let me cover that real quick. If I'm covering everything else besides the far right, right, I got one guy that's kind of like he's on the AC unit on the radar and he's just waiting for his time. I got to cover stairs. I can shoot them in the feet, but they could shoot me in the head. If they're sniping, they could shoot my teammate, and then I got to let my teammate know, hey, guy number 1, you need to move and cover because he's sniping from the far left, right? Because he could see right over here, boom, that's headshot angle, right? All the way up to like I want to say here, and we can go take a look, and then if they come around, they come around the back of the map. So here we go. Here's a shot. He could also stand right here if he really wanted to. Like there are options. He could stand up here to get a nice clean angle. He could come a little bit closer if his shot isn't steady or he's using a different weapon, auto rifle, pulse rifle, a hand cannon with more range than the NF. So maybe the spare. It would he'd be doing less damage still, but so knowing what you can do is important. Knowing what your teammates can do is important, and when I say what they can do is what they're covering. That is your player awareness for your team. Now, the best way I think to understand what your teammates can and cannot do, put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that place. Now, most of the time, I'm going to be, and I'll admit it in a moment, but most of the time, I'm going to be, I'm going to snipe here, right? If I don't see anything, or if I see them jump up to the right, I'm going to assume they're going right, especially if they've been doing it in the matches. I'm going to come up over here, and I'm going to just chill, and I'm going to look for the snipe. Sometimes, if they're playing the left side but they're not rushing, I'll go up there and try to get a pick, but I'll usually take one of those 2 lanes. The best way for you to know what your teammates should be doing is to put yourself in their shoes. That doesn't mean imagine it, like swap it up. All right, you're guy number 1, he's guy number 2. Say, hey, guy number 2, switch with me. Be guy number 1. Do what I do. That way you know what I have to deal with, right? And I know what you have to deal with. And now you kind of know where guy number 2 stands. Now your guy, you're back here, and your guy number 2 says, I got a dude weak. Or sorry, you know what guy number 2 does because you've done it, so you know what to expect. All right, guy number 2's got that door. He also, if Ken calls out to the left or my teammate calls out to the left, rubble, guy number 2 needs to be aware that he could be shot from here if he's in the wrong spot. Or guy number 2 needs to turn and look. Or if everything's rotating, I need to turn and look. Remember, just because a call out's made is not a call out to action, it's a call out of knowledge. If I say 3 people are coming down the left side, that doesn't mean guy number 1 goes like this, left side, sniped, right? And he gets blasted away. And guy number 2 doesn't go, I'm on it, chief, body shot, dead, right? Like a call out is knowledge, and what you do with that information will affect the play. It doesn't mean you need to rush to me, because most of the time, if I say, hey, there's 3 guys to the left, I will let you know I'm going to hold them off, or I'm going to run. Most of the time, I'm going to try and fall back to my teammates and try to get a team shot. I was playing with my buddy Forrest this weekend, and when he said 3 people on the left, his ass was over here shooting people. So I knew after the first time he did it, I knew, all right, I'm going to expect Forrest to be challenging, and he would normally get picks. And so if I was over here, that did mean that I needed to come over here, and I needed to check. Boom. Anyone shooting me? Nope. All right, come on. I'm out here. Boom. Or I want to take the high ground. I want to take the high ground. But now that you know what your teammates are doing, and then take the big angles. Hey, hey, I want to cover this big area because I need to know what I need to do. And if that means, at first you say, hey, they're on the left side, and you just run back to your teammates every time, that's fine. But if you're in a pinch, you need to try and see how many are on the left side, because that will let us know you don't want to get pinched in this area. This is a bad area. So that will let us know how many are there, and if any are over here, right? So you kind of get a feel for what you need to do or what your teammates are going to do. You take up that role, you take up many roles, and you just get a feel for it. Not only that, let me touch this up. Your teammates will be predictable as well. If I keep doing the same thing every time over and over on my team, but it's working against the enemy team, there's no reason for me to switch it up. Just like Force. If Force was out here and he's getting picks when they push because he's just getting picks when they push, I'm going to assume that every time he calls out left side, he's going to stand his ground. I need to be over there. I need to be ready for it. So once you notice a pattern in your teammates as well, then you're going to start being able to make better response plays. That'll, again, that'll be covered into the should you move or should you not? Should you push or should you stay? Right? Should you defend or should you run? Right? That's all, player awareness is huge. It's huge and in depth. We're going to cut the video here at, about 15 minutes. But let's recap real quick. You want to know what you can do or what your job is supposed to be. My job is to cover this lane. Number 2's job is supposed to cover this lane. Number 3's job is, if I'm up here, especially if I'm up here, I will not see the radar, right? So you're taking a risk. So if you ever think someone's going left on the radar, number 3's job is to go check. And sure enough, oh, they're on the radar. By the time you get back here, they're already coming through the doorway. They jumped over one wall or two, which is bad if they jump over that one, because that means you have to run back and hope your teammates don't die. They could be up here. Like, once you give up this area, and I'm not saying you have to hold it to, to the end of the days, but once you give up this area, there's a good chance, depending on where you are over here, you don't make it back in time to shoot them, to like deter them from coming down this lane, right? So guy number 3, his job, he's got a big job. And if the enemy team is playing more left than they are right, then adjust. Have 2 people over here. Have 2 people. All right, we're going to have 2 people back here. Boom. We're going to have the 3rd guy, kind of right here. He can play this little lane. He could shoot people up there. If someone comes through the doorway, he can shoot them from here. He can always jump up if they're trying to play a little bit more defensive. Jump up, shoot them on the wall, and jump back. Right? He's got options, but he's also going to be taking care of the radar too. Oh, there's one over here, So anyway, hope this helps a little bit. We'll cover in the next video. Should you move or should you not? We're gonna cover, now that we've covered player awareness and your teammate awareness, we're gonna cover the enemy and the enemy awareness, and try to tackle the tough. What should we do if the enemies are doing this? Now, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't have any clips right now, because all of this is situational. It varies greatly, and sometimes they're hard to get the clips, or I would give you examples. So when I do get examples, I will, definitely put them in my videos. You know that by now. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Hit the subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're watching the stream, play with me, ask me these questions, guys. Remember, don't be afraid to get help. I'm here to help. I do like to help people. Don't be afraid to get help. The only way you're holding yourself back or the team back is if you don't reach out for that help, man. Like, that's real life stuff too. Video games too. I want to get better at video games. Reach out, tell them, hey, I have a tough time with this, I have a tough time with that. If you don't reach out, no one's going to be able to reach out to you. It takes 2 hands. See y'all next time.